This is my team. They are all on the stage. They look happy, but actually they are very stressed out. I made them to walk on the stage and tell everybody, tell to the public, more than 200 people that came to listen to them, what is their journey in journalism and in this particular newsroom that was announcing the launching of membership. That was in the previous year, and that was the launching event. Let me just see how I can close here the panel. Okay. So we dared to premiere membership, and I will tell you a little bit of our history and background so that you can understand the scale and why we did that and what is our history. We launched in 2014. It was a niched media based on business news. And in 1 year, we understood that that was very little spectrum for us to develop. So we became a more general news platform. We had one employee that did all this news, and we had the background of online media experience. In 2017, we were already 10 people in the newsroom creating content. We had more costs than revenues, so we were not profitable, and we suffered a lot from this. We had a very tough period in financial terms when we could not give salaries to people for 3 months. But we were perceived on the market as innovators in media. We were the first to have a mobile app, the first to have this format of infographics. Then recently we were the first to launch a podcast in media. So we were perceived and still are perceived as innovators in media. And in terms of audience, we were in top 10 out of 15 Romanian language platforms. As the competition, we can say that is doubled by Russian language news platforms. So the next year, I call it the strategy year. It's the year when we said that we cannot go like this anymore. So we have to sit down and focus on what should be our strategy, to focus on objectives and KPIs and understand how we should work, what is our vision, mission, and so on. So this is the year when we also created this organizational structure, when the newsroom was not only the basic element, but became a part of the company, as we had the commercial department, the IT department, the production department. So a newsroom became just a part of this organizational structure. It is the year when we had the break even for the first time in the history of the company. We had more revenues than costs. We had the possibility to buy new equipment, as everybody were working on a very, very old computers, and that was a very specific journalism when writing a breaking news literally meant that you had to write it before the laptop went down. So it was also the year when we started to organize events. Even though we didn't know how to do that, we somehow announced people that we could meet on the roof of the building where we had our newsroom. So people, more than 200 people came on that roof. And we understand that we have a community and people that are interested in networking with us. And so we started to organize these events on the roofs that are called Roof Offline. The next year, we are already 23 people. We have increased revenues, sales and grants, and we are in profit. We make technology one of the most core strategic orientation, as we consider that content is half of our of what we do, and technology and the way we use technology to deliver this content is a major important part of our business. We concentrated on native advertising sales, and we started to have profitable roof offlines. And here is when our community grew bigger. And this year, beside the fact that we had the COVID pandemic, still having it, we ended the year with 29 people in the company, increased revenues and grants, again, a profit. We had an increased video production demand as more businesses became aware of our capacities and what we were creating. In terms of audience, the competition grew in Romanian language platforms. We were still in top 10 out of 25. And this is the year when we made this revolution on the market and announced the membership. Why did we do that? So it was in 2018 when we understood that we have to test a lot of monetization models for us. We have a very diverse portfolio and revenue streams. We have tested more than 12 ways of making money, starting from the classical one, ad text placement, banner ads, video production, native text content, events, interactive formats, video feature sponsorship, social media, contests and promotionals. With all this diverse portfolio, we even tried this, selling wines that we labeled with Agora names, selling different t-shirts with interesting quotes. So with this data available, we are in profit, but we still have this sense of not being very well on our feet. No sense of sustainability that we want to feel every time when we do our job. You can still see from this graph that starting with 2018, we have more revenues than costs. Here I speak also about sales and grants. But why I say that we don't have this sustainability feeling is because of this. If we take the sales and grants apart in this revenue stream, we see that anytime this is a fragile way of receiving revenues. Anytime grants can stop, and they do stop. Projects do finalize. We saw in this pandemic year how advertising can drop in a way that no one was expecting, and businesses are closing and no one is putting advertise on your platform. So every time we look at these numbers, we see this fragile way of receiving our revenues and not being able to cover our costs. The way we see this ring where we work is like us, the publishers, being there on the floor, and this social media advertising and donors ruling in this box ring. So it was clear for us that we had to slowly exit this boxing ring and go enter the reader's revenue ring. This is a new ring to discover. And the way we decided to do that was through a membership model. Of course, we had to assume this philosophy, not starting with a leader, starting with me as the managing director, but with everybody in the company, every journalist, every cameraman, editor, video editor, salesperson, to understand and assume this philosophy that our success further on would mean the number of members more than any other number that we looked up up until this point. This is the quote that we took from the Telegraph, and it is now on the walls in our company. So as we were the first to do that in Moldova and to think about that, a lot of things were very intuitive. We thought about these steps when we started this journey. Step one is to search for institutional support. So we went to our partners, donors, and asked them to help us understand how to go to this membership model. That meant consultancy, that meant money for research, that meant money for IT development. Step 2 was to put together the project team. And the first person to be in that team was our former account manager that became a community manager, and had, first of all, to research on how others did it. And we researched how others did it, not to invent it from the start. And then we had this money to make a market research, focus groups, and different other studies that showed us if people are ready, readers are ready to pay or contribute to any media platform. Then we worked on designing the membership packages, the IT development and integrations, and finally launched the membership and continuous communication about that. What the market research showed are very positive numbers that actually blurred a little bit the next step. So 66% of people, of readers, said that they would recommend anytime Agora to friends and relatives. That is a net promoter score, very good net promoter score for us. 68% of people were interested in benefits and rewards in case they would acquire a membership. 70% mentioned only positive feedback about Agora and our editorial policies. They perceived as independent media with quality information that they read on this platform. 61% declared that they would financially support Agora for a membership subscription. And that was sufficient for us to know that this is the way we are going further. We also did this exercise of price sensitivity meter that showed that people are ready to pay from 2.5 euros to 5 euros, and that was the maximum they could afford. Okay, so how we planned it and foresee it in 4 years, we started from the number of our unique readers, monthly unique readers, and then we thought that 20% of it we could convert in people that would register, would make an account on the platform. Then out of that, 0.2% would become members. That was a realistic number that we also consulted with other platforms in Slovakia, for example, Denek, that would rely on this type of percentage. So that meant that in 4 years, we could expect to have at least per year 200 members. These are the project KPIs to have in 4 years by 2024, 80,000 registered readers, 800 members, and in 4 years, in terms of finances, that would mean that membership would cover 30% of our costs, sales would represent 40% of our costs, and grants will be 30%. That would mean a decrease in what the situation it is at this moment. This is how we designed the membership offer. We have this 3 types of memberships: a supporter, fan, and ambassador. You can see here in euro, I put the numbers, not in Moldovan lei. 2 euro, 5 euro ambassadors for 8 euros. People can pay monthly, can pay quarterly, and annually. Okay, so this is how we designed the membership offer with benefits. We have this mobile app and we redesigned it. We made it better, more user-friendly, and we decided to give it access to the mobile app only to members. So all the packages include the access to the mobile app. The supporters have access to a closed chat with the newsroom where they can see and discuss directly with the journalists the subjects they're interested in or some info that they require to be addressed by the newsroom. It is the fan package that already contains exclusive content, theater tickets or partner products. In partner products, we had tea from different tea shops, beer, crafted beer, books from bookshops. So every month we announce a new partner and new possibilities to receive products if you have a membership package. And ambassadors that include also the possibility to see all the platform with no banner ad, and full disclosure of our financial reports. And I think we were the first company to announce this kind of disclosure for people to receive a financial report, while in Moldova, no one wants to tell any financial data, afraid of what competitors would do or pressure they would have from authorities. So when we planned for our communication, we knew that we could rely on internal capacity to communicate and on external one from a marketing agency. Internally, we knew that we could organize a launching event, and we did it. It was called the Unconference, the Newsroom. And at this event, all journalists went on the stage and told the story of their journey in journalism and at this newsroom, and why they would need support from the community. We knew that we could produce content about Agora, about our people, to describe our future plan, to disclose financial data. We invited all journalists to launch personal messages on why they need support. We knew that we could produce exclusive content, and we used all the banner ads on our platform that could announce the membership offer. On the other side, the marketing agencies that we were able to contract made us this mix of channels on promotional campaigns, concepts, messages, Google ads, Facebook ads. I think we invested more than 10,000 euros the previous year. With no budget for this year, but starting with the launch, we invested a lot in promoting this idea, as on the market no one knew and understood what is this and how to eat it. They also collected and analyzed all the audience data related to how many people push the button "I want to support," or how many people go read all the exclusive content or whatever we had on our platform. That is the launching event that I was telling you, the Unconference, and how everybody went out of their comfort zone and were telling on the stage about them. And these are some visuals from the campaigns that we had monthly, even more. So it was creating an account. We invited people to register on Agora, and we had this campaign only about that. We had a promotion of speeches and editorial pieces from the event where we went on the stage. We communicated the benefits. Then we promoted editorials with Agora stories and numbers. And then we had, for example, in November, Black Friday discounts. We had a campaign where we promoted independent journalism and why you should look for your information on trusted platforms. We have had messages related to election and related them also to memberships. We promoted Agora as a credible source of information. Then we had the Moldovan wine days and cross promotion with that, and gave our members bottles of wines. We promoted our new contributors section. We had this series of funny messages from newsroom journalists on how their jobs feel like on Saturdays and Sundays with no free days and so on. And people liked them a lot because they discovered for the first time that journalists are not always so serious as they are perceived. And we promoted products offered as benefits from our partners. In this discount, we have a voucher for books. We also succeeded in this autumn previous year autumn to launch this section for acquisition by companies of memberships for their employees. That meant that companies could purchase, for example, 10 memberships, and all the benefits and products that were in that package would go to the employees. That was a way to motivate the employees to read a trusted source of information and also receive different gifts from Agora. We had no budget to promote it a lot, but we started to communicate about it through newsletters and direct mails, and we hope this will work. So the results so far are this. We have this panel that is called Community Agora that is on the landing page of membership, and people can see directly what are the numbers. So here's the total number of members, number of fans, of supporters and ambassadors. And so far by this time, we have 5,000 euros achieved. I wanted to make this graph to show the quota of membership revenues in the total sales revenue. So it is basically 1-2% of our total sales. We had these months where May, it was the first month after launching, and we had as startups our family, fans and fools, early adopters that were the first to have a membership. Then we had the summer months slowing down a lot, discouraging us a lot. And then we had the Black Friday where we discounted all memberships to 60%, and again an increase up to 12% of total sales. Okay, so some thoughts and learnings my own during all this testing and entering this membership journey. First of all, it was about the marketing budget, that it was a must. It is still a must. Less ads, less memberships. We saw that from our experience. Then it is about continued communication. When we stopped, we had several weeks when we stopped to communicate or relate some content about membership on our platform. We saw immediately that no memberships were in that period. So marketing and communication has to be continuous. Then we discovered that the membership system depends a lot on market's technology capacity. For example, when we launched, the lack of recurrent payments completely in Moldova made us lose a lot of subscribers on the way. We had to communicate monthly with them and announce them to come again on the platform, renew their subscription, and we lost memberships. It is only in January this year that we succeeded to integrate a recurring payment system. Being the first on the market to launch a membership model does not necessarily mean we are in advantage to some other media or some other competitor. Readers continue to be very skeptical to this model. They do not understand it. They are not used to paying or supporting media. They saw that this is usual practice in Europe or in other countries, but not in Moldova. So still skeptical about that. Testing messages, new tactical approaches, failing and discovering what is working. This is the road of premiering this membership model. And this is what my team also knows. It is the first year when they discovered that it is okay to fail, not to have all the messages correctly done, but we learn from all these experiences. And finally, that the membership model is definitely our road to self-sustainability, and we continue to work on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Irina, and thank you for sharing a very sort of detailed view on everything that's been going on with the launch of your membership. I have to say that I'm quite tempted, by this possibility to get some great Moldovan wine definitely something to
you have to become an ambassador. So
yeah, definitely. Let's talk deal after the webinar is done.